Boom! Welcome back to the Sloppy Horror Podcast. Folks, we are in October, and I am more than excited. I am more than amped. This is my diplomatic duty to each of you. I don't think I'm alive for any other reason besides to give you spooky facts in this month and every month of your life, but especially this month. Folks, it's me, Christian Ramey, your scary movie companion. I'm here week after week, along with my best friend, brother, and best producer in the whole wide world, Mr. Ozark Mark. Mark, what's happening down there? You have an orange shirt on, by the way, so I feel like A, it's Bengals appropriate, and B, it's Halloween appropriate.
Yes. I did that on purpose.
We lucked out in this city. We got some cool colors, dude.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sloppy Road to Halloween. That's right, it is October, and we are getting towards the end here. The end of the special day where everybody's panties are wet. That's right, Halloween, bitch, you guessed it. And we have one of my favorite horror movie stars of all time. For some reason, don't know why. I just like that shit.
Me too.
I just like that shit. Today, we have a remake.
Another
What?
Another
remake. That's right. But it's a classic movie. It's great. And of course, we are talking about, was it 2005? 2005 remake version of the one and only, the Amityville Horror.
You know how I was thinking how this would come off? Like a Middle Eastern guy. Amityville Horror. Amididi. Like there's a lot of Amididi.
The Amityville Horror.
Amityville
Horror.
I would
You gotta do it with the end of Horror. The Amityville Horror.
There's lots of fun ways.
The Amityville Horror. That's right.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've often discussed that, how it's funny which not everybody's obsessive over movies, but when you talk to somebody and they just like, oh, you like that Amityville's Horror? You're like, yeah, I do.
Amityville's Horror.
We watched The Hunger Games, too. It was good.
I like S on the end now. I'm keeping that. The Amityville's Horror.
Yeah, dude.
That's good. Damn it. That's it. I don't care how you say it. You just got to put the S on there to give a little bit of extra finesse and spice in its life.
And sometimes people will be talking to you, and you don't know if they know or they don't know. But, Brad Pitt was in that one. And you're like, oh. Did I hear that?
Things can be so much funnier if you put an S on the end of them.
They really are. They really are. So, you're right. It's another remake. I would say one of the most popular remakes of all time, and rightfully so. I'll go right off the rip and say rightfully so. I don't think many people of my generation would have had the same, would have resonated with this story as well as the older generation. If we talk to our parents about this movie, this was one that got them. The original, it got them big time. I know people that are like, I was about to buy a home, but it had the Amityville windows, and I didn't want it.
Dude, this movie has personally fucked up whoever designed those windows, whoever sells those windows, and put them out of business.
I know. I want them now. Now I'm like, please.
Yeah, I kind of do too, to be honest with you. But
that little idea, the Halloween decoration idea you said where you could take the toilet paper rolls and put them up there with little red eyes, I would do that all the time. All the time with those.
What was it in the original? I think when they showed the spirit, it was like a bear or some shit. I don't know. It was awful. But it was 1979, so what are you going to do? But
we have so many fun things to get into with this movie. Lots of funny things, lots of serious things. But first, guys, if you are joining us and you like the show, we need you to go to YouTube and follow Sloppy Horror Podcast. Why? Because it's absolutely free, helps us out more than you know, helps us spread the show. This isn't some TV show that's supported by Disney and ESPN, and it's got 20 million followers, and it has a celebrity in the tagline. It does not. Ozark, Mark, and I are blue-collar, hard-working men that love to provide entertainment to each and every one of you. And you guys don't even have to pay for that, but you just have to take 10 seconds out to follow us on YouTube. And while your phone's out, before you look up any spicy websites, what you should do is go to patreon.com, get you some bonus episodes and shove them up your ass. First cheap is $3 a month. You can get all this bonus content, helps us keep the lights on, and we are beyond appreciative. Step further, you want to show the world you're a sloppy whore, get some cool gear. That's out there, man. And there's only a few weeks on these Sloppy Horror Road to Halloween t-shirts. Probably the coolest t-shirt I've ever designed in my life. There's a part of me that's sad that they won't be up forever. But don't worry, we'll have some Sloppy Horror Christmas gear, some kinds of fun stuff for y'all. But really, this is the only Halloween gear for 2024. So please go out and get that. And then also, the last final thing, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, audio listeners, give us 5 stars. Let the world know. That way when somebody clicks on our show, it's not just 2 ratings from, us. It's people out there listening. So if you guys have done all those steps already, we thank you from the bottom of our souls. Now let's move forward to the Amityville Horror. Now, I'm going to tell you something about the Amityville Horror that you may not know. You may not know this. And this isn't a what do you know fact. You could take this movie and delete every ghost scene, any possession scene, anything where it's the weird spirits of the home fucking with them, and this is still a horror movie. Folks, there are horror movies made for different types of people, right? And there is an archetype of horror film, a genre, a subgenre that I like to call angry dad horror films. Angry dad horror films. And the funny part about these is all dads are angry at times. All dads get worked up. But it gets to a point in these movies where it gets scary. And it's like, oh shit, no, he's really, really mad. He's going the fuck off. So, let's just start here. Let's just start with the Amityville Horror. You could end at the opening scene before anything, well, not with the opening of the Ronnie DeFeo killing the people in the 70s. If you just go to the Ryan Reynolds part, first off, opening the scene, what do we have? Ryan Reynolds marries a pretty lady. All right, so first off, that's scary. That's scary. Any man that's ever done that, you know that's scary. All right, it's scary. That's work. Number 2, he's taking care of some stepkids. So bro's got a big heart on. Like, every man has loved a woman and tried to do some crazy stuff to prove love. Every man has, and every man can get made fun of for it. All right? We all have. That's just the way it works. So this man has a beautiful woman, and he's raising her kids. We're starting off scary. Lots of responsibility, okay? And then what do we have? We have a lady. The scariest scene of this whole fucking movie is George and Kathy driving to the home. Fellas, have you ever been in a car with a woman taking you to look at something you know you can't afford nor take care of, but she has a glimmer that you can? You know what this entails. You know there's a lot of work involved, and there's a lot of things that you are going to have to do. You specifically are going to have to do. You know this, right? So the scariest scene is driving up to this. She's like, I don't know. I have a good feeling. And he's like, I know what houses cost around here. No. But what happens? What happens? See, here's the thing about us men. We love to be martyrs in our own way. You know, if your dad if he has back problems, he's not going to tell you about it. He's going to do the driveway himself just to be like, well, I got back problems and I did the driveway. So, like, he's not going to say that, but that's his attitude. Like, he gets a hard on by going through the pain, right? There's no complaints. There's none of that. He just does it. So, when they find out why the house is so cheap, it gets flipped on him, where she's like, oh, I don't know, should we live here? And he's like, come on, houses aren't fucking haunted. It's a fucking house. So it gets flipped where he ends up being the defender of wanting the home. And it's a fucked up cycle, dude, because all he was trying to do was just be a good man. He wanted to raise these kids and try to make his lady happy. Look what happened. Mm-hmm. Fellas, you bite off more than you can chew. You spread yourself too thin. It's too much. No more jumping through these fire hoops, fellas. Watch the Amityville Horror. Watch The Shining. These are tales that you need to tell you later. We can't afford that. We're not doing this. we cannot afford this. There could be ghosts in here. That's my logic. If we can't afford something, you ever seen Amityville Horror?
Mm-hmm.
That's
if it's something you can't afford and you can't afford, you can't. No, don't do it.
I know.
Don't fucking do it.
So right there.
Logical. Very logical. This man is very fucking logical. And what happens when a man is very logical? Nobody fucking listens to him.
Nope. And then it goes, it gets blown up in his face is the deal. And then what's happening? He's trying to fuck his wife. Little kid walks in. What are you doing to my mom, George? You got little cock blocks. You've got a big house. You've got barking fucking dogs. You've got a lady who's wants everything that's shiny. God damn it, dude. This is scary before there's any ghosts. For me, I mean, my radar is going off you want to know something fucking funny? You want to do something funny? If you're privileged enough to still have your dad in your life, just go turn off his thermostat and just say, Dad, is it cold in here to you? What happened to Just watch him for the next 20 minutes. Try to figure out what happened. That's why these movies... Oh, Jack Torrance has got to fix the boiler because it's cold. Fucking George Lutz. Is it cold in here? That's such a dad thing. That's such a fucking dad thing. You are in charge of the temperature of your home. And when it is off, it is a personal failure on your end. And it's like all these little things that snowball up. Like the fucking boat door won't close. Like there's just certain shit. Like as a man, you're
Dude,
like...
There's a lot of annoying shit. Honestly, for real. Like... all the problems he was having, you could take away the whole ghosts and the fucking preacher who killed a bunch of people in there. Just put it like a regular normal house and he would have fucking went crazy and tried to kill him anyway.
Fucking, it's so fucked.
Oh my God,
He's getting yelled at for kids climbing on the roof and shit.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Fucking
First of all, dude, I know you you spent a little bit of time on roofs. You were roofing for a little bit, selling roofs or something. You know damn well that those roof scenes are completely unrealistic at all. There's no way, especially in the rain, dude.
No.
You ain't getting traction when it's not raining on them fucking steep ass fucking. Let alone you're fucking chasing them through the rain.
Nope.
Hell no.
Nope. And you're just not getting kids to do that with no fear. Like you're just not. It's not happening.
There
They
ain't
would
no
have
way.
died in a house. Like
No way. But
they would
man,
have jumped out the window before that.
But, you know, I'll tell you what, this is probably my favorite Ryan Reynolds movie. Because,
Ditto.
like, legit, I mean, he's perfect for it. I mean, his dad anger is just fucking so hilarious and
I have
awesome.
that's my favorite form of comedy, is dad anger. That's why I love the Beethoven movies so much. Dad's just the whole time. He's just like, no, we don't need these fucking dogs. And then they get the dogs. And it just, for some reason, that is extremely funny to me. It always has been. And I agree with you on Ryan Reynolds because we briefly discussed the end of last episode when he does his comment. I don't find him that funny. He doesn't offend me. But there was this time frame where he got really popular as a comedian, as like a funny guy. And hey, I talk like this. Everything's a cadence like this. Hey. Like I don't like that. I don't like that personality of him. You ever seen him in Smokin' Aces? Holy shit, he was like this, just angry and like fucking super badass Ryan Reynolds. I love serious Ryan Reynolds. Like, he's a great actor. And I'm not saying the funny one's bad. I just don't like that one as much as I like serious Ryan Reynolds.
Like, this is before Deadpool money and all that. If he would have stuck to horror, he would have been an icon. But, hey, can't be mad at him for going down the superhero route. That's a big cash grab for you. I mean, you're going to have great success with it. Good for him.
We need another segment. It's an infamous segment on this show called Eat Something. Ryan Reynolds, my girl's watching this movie. Chill out, bro. Put your fucking shirt on, dog.
What the
Eat
fuck?
something.
Dude,
Eat something.
Fuck him. It's like, fuck him and his personal fucking perfect chiseled ass body.
CrossFit. Yeah.
I feel like, dude, they were just fucking making it a point just to swarm him all around the goddamn house. They made him wet and everything, too. It's like, god damn it. Now I can understand now. Now, if you're a girl or you have a girl and never seen this movie, but she's a fan of him from Deadpool, or like, I love Ryan Reynolds and Green Lantern and all that, fucking show her this movie.
Yeah, dude, he's jacked.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
But it's like an eat something category because
nobody should be that chiseled. For real.
You're very active. You go to the gym a lot. I'm very active. I work out. You and I are two people that if we were like in public and somebody said, you guys got to take your shirt off, we don't feel any kind of way. Like, we could take our shirt off.
No, but I know I'm not perfectly fucking chiseled like that.
Dude.
I'm just like, you know.
I would feel body dysphoria or whatever the fuck that is. If he took his shirt off around me, I'd feel like,
No, I'd be like, dude, I would hand him a fucking quarter pounder with cheese right now. Like, eat this, dude. Like, you are severely deprived of food right now. Like, you have been eating water. That's all you've been eating. I don't know how you do that, but you've been doing that.
I applaud your dedication, sir, but fuck me,
yeah,
please eat something.
that was completely unnecessary to be that chiseled. It's like, I get you chopping wood and shit all the time, but you don't get a fucking 12-pack of abs and fucking perfect hip lining thing from chopping wood, you fuck. Like, fuck that.
You remember in the Departed where it's Jack Nicholson's like talking to Leo and he's like, I got a heaving fucking rat. And he puts a cigarette out and walks away. And he comes back to get a cigarette. And he said, eat something. Like that. If we make that an actual segment or a bumper, that's what I'm taking. Eat something. It's like, dude, please, for the love of... You're making me hungry looking at you.
Oh, no.
And I'm not a crazy foodie. I'm not, like, I just kind of eat to live. I don't need, like, I think from cooking for a lot of years, I don't get crazy into it. But, man, those kind of people make you want to...
No, you can't. You have to pay me what he made for me to eat whatever the fuck that diet was. Because that's just unfun.
That is a good point.
Unfun. I'm telling you. Unfucking fun.
And at least whatever the shit you're eating is probably cooked well. Like, if I'm making your fucking asparagus and shit, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't care. They made Kathy Lutz hot as hell, too.
Mm-hmm.
So they did a good job of that. I think that's, what's her name? Fucking...
I don't know what else
Kathy
she's
George
in.
or something, whatever her name is.
I don't know what else she's in.
But what's her name, though? I had it and then I lost it.
I believe she's Australian, too, so it's impressive. And, why are blonde Australian girls so fucking hot, dude?
I don't know. They are.
Melissa George, yeah.
Yeah, Melissa George.
What else was she in?
I don't know. She's in all kinds of stuff, I'm assuming.
30 Days a Night, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, we have, Chloe Grace Moritz. That's the girl that grew up and was Carrie. That's the little girl who's climbing on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool. I liked that. It had some familiar faces there. Really, the Amityville story in general, obviously, the murders happened, the first wave of murders, and then a book was somebody wrote a book, the family did, saying their house was haunted, and then it turned out to be just kind of blood money, bullshit, whatever. But what an impactful story that everyone knows. I always find it like, if you know the story of Toy Story, I don't find that fucking weird, dude, because Toy Story is palpable for all. It's a kid's story, if you're like, oh, it's just like Rudy. You're like, oh, yeah, sports movie. When somebody's like, yeah, like Leatherface, the guy that cuts people's faces off and wears it, you're like, it makes me happy that normal people know that. And, like, Amityville is another one of those. I've often mentioned some of my favorite things to do are talk to people about horror movies that aren't people like you and I. When you're just talking to somebody's dad or somebody random, and he's like, oh, I saw that when I was younger, and I was so scared.
No, okay, I think I said it when we did the original. It's probably one of the most popular haunted house movies or stories ever.
Yeah, fuck, we're coming up on 20 years old, and this thing still holds up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what year in the millennium where it crossed, but there's a time frame now where it's like, and maybe it's because of our age, maybe it's unique to that, but movies don't feel old after a certain point where you're like, that thing's 20 years old. I was looking up, the movie Dumb and Dumberer is almost 20 years old, dude. Like that, it's crazy, some of these fucking movies, how old they are. Like I don't understand how that much time has slipped in between. 20 fucking years since Amityville Horror? That's nuts. This is somebody's first Amityville. Mm-hmm. Somebody watched this as a little kid.
Yeah.
This is the only Amityville some people know. And I'm really not mad at that. Really not mad.
Once you crossed into the digital filmmaking process, usually, and then once everything became like digital editing and all that, all kind of just like peaked. So like it all looks good to a point, but you can't go above from that look unless you do some crazy ass fucking... Unless a whole new wave of technology comes out that makes whatever it is insufficient, which it's not. I mean, it's kind of like, here it is. Mm-hmm. So you gotta be more creative with that. That's the difference between probably older movies and these newer movies. Once that hit, that's why they don't look so old. You know?
You know what? We have yet to do a synopsis or fill them shoes, so I'm gonna do like a 60-second fill them shoes. Can we do that?
Sure.
Fill them shoes, walk the path of the wicked. Unleash the fury, let the chaos ring.
Yeah! Boys and girls, this is the segment known as Fill Them Shoes. That way, as we were just talking about movies, they can get a little bit older, and if we're watching them without context, man, that's just kind of weird. They're maybe not as scary. So if you kind of remember what year they came out and the things that were going on, maybe it can put you in the shoes. So let's talk about April 15th, 2005. That's when this movie dropped. There was a lot of things going on in pop culture. That was the year of Hurricane Katrina. That was the birth of YouTube. Revenge of the Sith came out that year. Big Star Wars movie. Mariah Carey fucking owned that year. She came back with "We Belong Together. Can't sleep at night."
She's about to get defrosted soon.
Yeah, she is, dude. She waits for the pumpkins to rot, and then she comes out.
Yep.
TV shows at that time, man. You remember this was big when 24 was big. You remember that show? Shows like Prison Break, Criminal Minds, The Shield. That was right around this time frame. At the movies, number one movie at the time was Sin City. That was a decent movie.
That was different.
Yeah, it was different, kind of interesting. A movie called Sahara. I don't remember that one at all.
Nope.
Third one's Fever Pitch. I do vaguely remember that one. I think it was like a Yankees and I think it had Jimmy Fallon. It was like a Yankees and a Red Sox fan. They end up banging or some shit. I don't know. Something along that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like every other Hallmark movie.
Yep. Let's talk a little bit about music. Let's just jump in here. Number one song at the time that Amityville dropped in theaters. I Take You to the Candy Shop. Fucking 50 Cent.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number two. Also 50 Cent with The Game. Hated to love it, the underdogs on top.
Yeah,
and I'm going to shine on me until my heart stops. Go ahead and envy me.
G-Unit was in its prime.
Look, let's not hate on Lloyd Banks so hard. Lloyd Banks was decent, all right? I liked Lloyd Banks.
I liked Lloyd Banks, too.
I know, bro. Like, he's some people, like, laugh. I was like, dude, I had his CDs. Like, Lloyd was decent.
I had all of their first CDs, except for Tony Yayo, because he was just...
He was a little out there. But Young Buck, he was good, too.
Yep, I had his first one, too.
Number three on the list, Kelly Clarkson. Since You've Been Gone. Then the next one... Fucking Acorn. I'm so lonely.
Mr. Lonely. It's nobody. Fucking Acorn.
Fucking Acorn. And then the Boulevard of Broken Dreams. And then Mario's You Should Let Me Love You.
Okay.
All right, but let's, real quick, for my sports fans out there, 2005, your NBA champions were the San Antonio Spurs. The 2005 World Series winners were the Chicago White Sox. The NFL Super Bowl champions of 2005 were the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the 2005 NHL Stanley Cup champions were the Carolina Hurricanes. So, now that you are in 2005... You feel caught up, put some jean shorts on, all right? Watch some wrestling with John Cena, all right? That's what we were doing. We were hanging out, having fun, dude. Having, fun watching MTV and whatever else. So, now that we're filled, let's give a brief synopsis on Amityville Horror now that we're fucking damn near halfway through the episode.
Amityville Horror.
Amityville Horror is the state... I kind of given a long-winded synopsis, but briefly... There's a home in New York, on Staten Island, or Long Island, one of the fucking two, I don't know, but it's up there. Nice neighborhood, and things like this don't happen in this neighborhood, but, it's always an uncle, right? There's always somebody, it's always an uncle. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got a weird uncle, all right? Everybody's got a weird uncle. So, there's an uncle that lives with the family. He ends up killing the whole fucking family, while they're all sleeping with a shotgun. Says he hears voices and shit. They move out. Well, now the house is for sale, and it's pretty cheap because nobody wants to live there because fucking, 4 or 5 fucking...
6 fucking people.
6 people,
died.
yeah. They murdered there. You
Yeah,
know.
I wouldn't want to live there either.
I'm not going there, But the house is for a deal. The family moves in. The Lutz family, Kathy and George and the kids, they move in. It seems like it's happily ever after, but slowly but surely, George starts to change, and he becomes angry. And he starts to become possessed by the home, similar to The Shining, if you're familiar with that. The story is that this home was built on an ancient Indian burial ground, and the first farmer of that land used to fucking torture Indians on the land, and he locked them up, and then he killed himself on the land, slit his throat so his presence would live there forever. Some real wicked, dark, spiritual shit had happened here. And now it's taking over the family, and they have to try to save themselves and try to get George from killing them. And they succeed. George does not. They make it out. They get out of the home, and they just leave all their shit, as I would.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you had one thing, though, you're just like, damn it. I'm going to go. I'm going to go back. Let's go in the daytime. Let's go.
Yeah, the daytime. Come on, we'll be in and out.
You do the whole run through. What was that? It'd be like the run in Blair Witch Project. What the fuck was that? You're like that your whole run. Yep, that's a situation, dude. I tell you, probably my favorite part of this movie, or one of the favorite parts, one of the coolest jump scares of any horror movie is in the Amityville Horror 2005, and it's when when the middle son, the middle kid, the son, goes to the bathroom in the middle of the night. We've all been there. You remember being a little dude when you're still scared, and he tries to wake up his older brother. Like, hey, come with me. And he realizes he has to go by himself. He has to go to the bathroom. So he mans up, runs to the bathroom, pulls the little 6th sense, walks his little way there. He's taking a piss, and he goes to wash his hands. And the camera work is beautiful, dude. They just leave his right side not in focus. Like, they don't show what's going on. Multiple camera shots, and then boom, this ghost fucking Indian dude pops up right next to him while he's washing his hands. One of the best jump scares ever. I mean, it's just paced beautifully, but he can't get the water to start. He notices it's dripping blood, so the little boy just runs back to his bed. Everybody remembers that feeling. He just runs back to his bed, but with one jump and one fellow's swoop, he just pulls his covers over his full head. That's a real thing, and you can do that. Every little kid has done that, where you just fully go under the covers. You're protected at that point. You are. You feel safe. But what that little boy did, jumping into bed like that, that's what every human being wants to do on a shit day. You're you have a real shit day at work, or what? You just want to run to your bed and just launch in there, cover up, fuck off everything. I don't know why that scene. It's just such a true scene with a little boy, where you're not even mad at him for being scared, because I'd be scared. I'm a grown man and I'd be afraid, and you're just get out of there, little dude. You're all right, man. Mm-hmm. Did you got a favorite part of this movie? Is there something that rings out?
Just a lot of the dad anger moments are always hilarious to me. When he's yelling at the kids for when the babysitter got fucked up in the closet.
Bro,
and then dude, he's just back there running. He says, "Babysitter's a goddamn idiot." Babysitter's a goddamn idiot.
Bro. Because that's what a dad would say.
It's dead on. And then, he's bitching in the kitchen. She's like, "We gotta leave now." I was like, "No, you fucking wanted this house, and now we're here." It just cracks me up, dude. It's so good.
The log chopping scene when we're friends, right? That is the epitome of hold the flashlight. Every boy's had to do that for his dad, and you feel like you have no idea what you're doing. You're just, "I'm here, Dad. I'm here to help you." And he has that look of I don't know what you're going to turn out to be.
It just comes out, it's after the roof incident where they get her off the roof, and then Kathy and her daughter are sitting there arguing about the ghost girl, and Ryan's just walking down. He's like, the hell's wrong with you people?
Wacko family.
There's so many, I forget them all, man. But it just every anger, it's so goddamn funny, man.
He said they're at the dinner table. He said,
"Oh, dude, this is the worst one."
he said, "When the mind suffers, the body," or he said, "When the body suffers, the mind flourishes." That's what my dad taught me, and his dad isn't around to teach him that now, is he?
Dude,
Okay.
that's the coldest line in the movie.
And it's not even like he left, he died. Like, he's dead, bro. Like, like, it's not like he left town. Like, he's fucking dead. Like,
Like, that's the coldest shit ever. Oh, dude, I died when I forgot about that line, and I'm laughing to myself in the basement. Oh, God.
That gets in the basement, too, speaking of when she... It's such a perfect dad moment, too, because dads will stew on shit. Like, you don't realize the moments that your dad was really angry or really depressed until you get older, and you're like, oh, dad didn't... Like, because they don't vocalize the same way. They just kind of get inward, and they just get a... fucking coffee's cold. You all right, Dad? Like, yeah. But he's in the basement, and he's just sitting there looking at the wall, and she walks down like, "Hey, you all right?" And he's just like, "It's the only place that's warm in this house." And
He's
like,
just staring at the wall.
yeah, and she's like, "What's going on?" She's like, "The boathouse door was open." She said, I thought you locked it." He said, "I did, but look what I found in Billy's room. He has a fucking keys. He's been sitting down there for like an hour, like, what shall his punishment be?" Like, he's stewing. He's fucking so hot. He's so mad. And she's like, just goes to like give him a kiss. He's like, don't talk to me like one of your kids, all right? Like, he's so fucking locked in, dude.
He played it fucking perfect, man. Oh, my God. All right. Time out. Got to get those dudes in here to find out more things about this movie.
Yeah.
Hey, yo. Welcome to the What Do You Know Here. It's a segment here where we hit to tell you something that you may or may not know about this movie. Now, if you know what we know, you're going to find out what we know, and you're going to have what we know gasm. But if you don't know what we know, you better find out what we know too. And then you are going to have a we know gasm too. That's how it works. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Something that you may or may not know about this movie here. Are you ready for it?
Oh, I'm beyond ready.
So you got your belt nice and tight and your asshole loose, because I'm going to jam it up there with something you may
Right
not
up
know.
in there.
So, right before the filming of this movie, the Amityville Horror 2005, okay, there was a body of a fisherman washed up on the shore. He was murdered. This is real. This is not making it up. Some fisherman was murdered at the
Are
lake.
you talking about when Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr., they hit him with the car and then they threw him in the lake and he was dead, but he wasn't really dead, and then he came back the next summer and he told them they knew what he did last summer?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
no.
so real thing.
Yes, it's a real thing. A fisherman was murdered and his body washed up on the shore right in front of the main house before the filming was done. That's fucking creepy.
Salud, God rest his soul.
That's fucking creepy. Why are you murdering a fisherman? He's just trying to enjoy his day.
Just trying to
That's
get
a
you
horrible
some bags.
person to murder. Horrible person to murder. But
I
that's
want
what.
to get to the bottom of this fisherman case now. Now I want to know what happened.
That's a good pun.
Yeah,
That's a good pun.
yeah, I like that.
Anyways, that's all I know. What do you know?
Well, look here. I know a few things, or maybe just one thing specific we should stick here. So, the babysitter, you know, she's a little bit of a looker. She's the kind of girl that Ozark Maka and I would have dated back in high school. You know what I mean? That's the kind of girls that, you know, used to be at our shows. You
Yeah,
know?
she could do films.
Oh yeah, she's the kind of girl that somehow, you know, would be around us. All right, that's just the way it was. Now, you know, now we're grown people. We're polished up pennies. You know, they think, look at these guys. They're worth a couple cents. We're not. But you know, we tricked them. But back then, these are the kind of girls we'd run into. And nothing wrong with that. She's a nice lady. But she's babysitting these kids. And there's a part where they're, you know, in a little boy's room, and there's a kiss poster back there, and, you know, she's, you know, talking about Gene Simmons' tongue. He's got a big, long tongue. And so does she. She, you know, pulls out a tongue, you know, flips it out. And initially, there was a different, I don't know which band it was. Maybe it was Rush or something on the wall, but it was a different poster for a different band on the wall. But then once they noticed how long this girl's tongue was, they said, we could do something with Kiss here. You know, that'd be a nice little play on, and that's what they did. Also, something I read about her, that scene she gets locked in the closet with the creepy little girl, and nobody wants that. That's not good.
Yeah, she like fingers her forehead or something.
Yeah, that was so fucked. That was so fucked. Like, I don't want to be a participant. You leave me alone, little girl. You do whatever you're doing over there. I'm over here. Don't put me in you. That's not right. I don't want to do this.
I'm not a perv.
Yeah, but even if it's just like on some creepy, no, do not. I'm not involved. I'm not, la la la. That's what I would try to do. Well, this poor girl, Rachel, she had to beat on this door because the little ghost girl's in the closet with her. Well, they said, let's not get this girl all beat up. Let's put in a rubber door, so it'd be a little bit easier for her. But they started filming and they said, this rubber door, it doesn't look right because it looks like a rubber door. It doesn't look like a real door. So they put in a real door, and for 2 days straight, this girl had to shoot these scenes banging up, and, she fucked her arms and hands all up. Apparently, she went all out, So it's a little bit of, physical acting there for her.
Yeah, she had bloody fingers, too.
Yeah.
That was a good touch.
It was.
A good touch.
Mm-hmm. And when they was bringing her out, the paramedics, she was all fucked up. She wasn't right, What's wrong with you? I fingered a little ghost girl's forehead. I need some time. Time for what? I don't know.
I don't know what the time period is of healing for that, but I don't think that's in the manual.
Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
that's definitely a just leave me alone kind of night. Just leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Well, that's good. Any more facts?
I think that's it.
That's pretty good.
Good stuff.
That's all you need.
Yeah, that's all you need.
All right. Time to go now.
Okay.
Sayonara.
Mark, apparently, which I'm going to go in on a little tidbit here. A little tidbit. If you are a person who buys the home of a filming location, right? Let's just say, I saw recently the house that Roseanne was shot in. Roseanne, the opening credit, that home. That was for sale. If you buy that home and you are mad that people come and take pictures of your home, you're an asshole. You're an asshole, dude. You're an asshole. Now, if people are coming in your home, fucking with your shit, that's a whole different story. Your home is a tourist attraction. And you paid for it knowing what it was. Not like, I just really like this house. Like, fuck off, dude. You knew that this house was that. And apparently, there's been some stuff lately with the Elm Street house where, they're getting real pissy. They're, building these really tall bushes, and it's just some, there's some feisty gays that live there, and I mean that with no disrespect, but he was sassy. He was coming out like, you off of the sidewalk. He was super not and I'm like, bro, you bought the Elm Street house.
Why don't you make some money off it, you idiot?
Yeah, dude, or say hey, we are very private and we would not like to be fucked with Monday through Friday, but the weekends, everything is open for photos.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Dude, I would charge people fucking here $20. You go take a couple pictures.
But
you can get on the property. There you go.
But let's just say, hey, I want to go see the Halloween house, and you look up the address and you say, hey, private owners own this, and they really only like if people come on the weekends to take pictures. You wouldn't be like, cool, let's go Tuesday. You wouldn't. You would respect that. You would. So when people buy these homes and they're pricks about it, there's something about it that irritates me. I would never do that. I'm not going to buy a fucking lifted up truck that's as high as a basketball hoop that's bright red with rims and shit and be like, why is somebody looking at my truck? Because, dude, you made it look like a fucking Christmas ornament. It's shiny. You've done this.
Yeah.
So the owners of the Amityville house have changed the windows. They even went as far as changing the fucking address. It's on the same street. They didn't pick the house up and move it. It's the fucking...
Yeah.
But that kind of irritates me. It's in the right of you couldn't pick any other house in Staten Island or fucking Long Island. I think it's Long Island. You couldn't. That had to be the one.
Man, I don't care. There were still 6 people murdered in that house. I don't give a fuck if they made a movie in it or not. Why would you still want to live there?
I don't know.
Fuck that.
And it just makes me mad that they changed the windows. I feel like I know that there are certain homes, if you live in a historical district, You buy a home in a historical district, you can't just like add on an addition or like do shit without a permit.
No, even that, if it's historical, you can't tear it down.
Right, and you have to like have approval by certain people, and I feel like there should be some kind of like film history home ownership thing where it's like, no, dude, you're not gonna tear down the Back to the Future house. Like, sorry, bud, like, no, sorry, you can't do that, or you can't be a prick. And it's unfortunate that it happens because it's a place that I would like to go see. I would like to see this home. But just unfortunately, it's just different than what the original was. But I would still go see it nonetheless, because it's just a piece of horror history, and it's just kind of neat.
Fuck that, dude. I would, if I had the money, I would buy that house and just keep it as it is and make it an Airbnb or something.
Bro, you'd be rich.
Oh yeah.
In a month.
I wouldn't live there. I'd keep it just like it looked just like the Amityville house.
That's what somebody did with the Buffalo Bill house from Silence of the Lambs. They
Yeah.
made it an Airbnb.
Exactly.
How cool.
Look, you could say that, sign this waiver. You want to stay in this house where 6 people got murdered and they made a smashing TV movie? Fine. Book it.
I want to know if anybody has rented the Buffalo Bill house, though, and like went full robe and got the little dog. Because
Absolutely, they have. What do you mean?
I would hope so, dude. Like, and it would be funnier if he was like we'd have to get one of our friends that doesn't look good doing it, like somebody that would be egregious and like that doing that, and then like that's what would make it funnier. Just have like a fucking all-out rager, and then just wait to send him out when everybody's all fucked up. Would you fuck me? You know, and you're like, ah! You know, everybody freak out. That'd be a hell of a time. But there's been many the Scream house, like Stu Macher's house from Scream. There's a lot of these where people get crazy pissy. The one where I don't fuck with is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, you can go, because it's flat in that district, so you can go from like a distance, like almost like a mile out and see the home well. Mm-hmm. But it's private property, dog. And it's just one of those where like, yeah, like I know that's not Leatherface in there, but I'm not like playing with that.
That's the diggy. It's that down south fucking lawless almost America. They will shoot you.
Yeah,
they
dude.
don't give a fuck. I mean, not like anywhere else in the world, but like they will shoot you.
Yeah, man, and it's one of those deals because everywhere else is like on a normal suburban street, like a lot of these homes. So it's just like, well, I'm just gonna walk. I'm never like when I saw the Elm Street house. I didn't walk on any property lines. I was on the street. Like, I was out where their trash cans were, as a matter of fact. And I took a picture. That's all I really needed. I don't need to go in your fucking home. That's too much, right? But it's just one of those situations where just picture a regular suburbs. I was on the sidewalk right in front of the home. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like on a plantation. So it's just like, you gotta like, you're seen crossing on to property. Not a smart idea. But that one is the only one where I'm like, all right. Even like, I still think you should let people see it, but like, I'm not gonna hop that fence. You know?
No.
Elm Street house, yeah, I'm gonna stand on the sidewalk and take a picture. The Ghostbusters fucking fire department, like their little station, yeah, I'm taking a picture. I don't care if it's an active fire station. Go fuck yourself. Like, you're in the Ghostbusters firehouse. That's your fault. Like, I didn't make the fucking rules, asshole. I'm just telling you. If I lived in like Charles Manson is from Cincinnati. It's where he's born. If he was raised in this home, like, I couldn't be like, oh, all people keep coming here. Well, that's what happens, jerk. You got to know how to handle great power if you have it.
First of all, you got to look at the history of a home before you buy it.
100%, dude. Mm-hmm. Especially the day and age of the internet.
You got to look at all the public records. You got to see how many people died in the house, who got murdered in the house. Was there anything famous happening at this house? All that shit.
And I would say pretty much any home that's over 50, 60 years old has probably had someone die in it.
Oh, yeah.
But
if they die naturally,
no big deal.
Yeah, but if it's something tragic like a shotgun while you're sleeping, might be a little bit different situation.
Look, I don't want to die, right? But we're all going to die, right? We're all going to die. We don't know if it's going to be painful. We don't know if it's going to be slow, agonizing. We have no idea. But I'm just saying, if the Grim Reaper came to Earth and he said, Ozark Mark's coming with me tonight, regardless of how this happens or not. Shotgun to the face while you're sleeping is probably, yeah, I mean, I can't say it's idyllic because, you know, you can't have a funeral, but what do you care? You know, you're just sleeping. You're still sleeping. You went from sleeping to still sleeping.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't have to deal with the terrifying being awake. So I don't want to die, but I'm just saying, you know, out of all the ways that you can get punched out of this world, that is probably the most painless way, because that's instant, but you can't just get double barreled to the fucking face and you're gone. You're history, but you didn't have an idea. And especially you're sleeping during a thunderstorm, you're out. You're fucking out, dude. Like, dude, you're in another world already.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't want to die, but if you had to go, there could be worse ways. It's not clean. Not clean. But hey, man. So it's one of those deals where it's like, is it instant? Yeah. Uh-huh. All right. I kind of like that more so. You just get those moments, dude. You get those moments.
You just get those moments. Well, the Amityville Horror needs to be rated on the world-famous, world-renowned, one-of-a-kind Sloppy Horror Podcast rating system, so let's get into that shit. Sloppy Horror rating, baby, yeah! Yeah. How you doing, bitch? Welcome to the one-of-a-kind, world-renowned, one-of-a-kind, world-famous, one and only Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, the most educational and dead-on, balls accurate to rate the horror movie of what kind of horror movie and the level of the horror movie that you're getting into or that you may want to watch and what you're in the mood for. That's what this rating system does. You know how it goes. You know what it's here for, but this is your first time here. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to do this in a series of 4 categories. 3 of the categories worth 3 points. Last category is worth 1 point for total love.
10 points all together.
Yep. And this is developed by Christian Ramey. So, you know it's going to be good. You know it's going to be good.
I don't know about all that.
I think it's going to be pretty good. Pretty good. So, let's get into the first category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is casting.
Got to be a strong one. This is, I don't know. Well, I'll tell you exactly what it is. I've been leaning this year into movies that are a little bit more popular. Not even just this season. I love a wide array of horror movies. We could cover the whole Phantasm franchise. That could be all next season. You're just like, we're only covering Phantasms. And I would be smitten. I would love life, but I have to think of others. And as we said, some of these movies are like 20 years old now, and these are ones that people grew up with. You don't always get Ryan Reynolds and that lady, whatever her name is, that was from 30 Days
George
a Night.
Or something?
Yeah, Melissa George. We don't get her.
Whoever the priest is, he's a popular guy too.
And then also that trope that I always hate in horror movies, and which is probably true to some degree. There are a lot of people with faith that are probably not real, or that's what sucks, dude. If you are a person with faith, there are so many bad people with faith that make you look bad, where it's just like, no, he's not a part of the club. This guy sucks. You know what I mean? Like, I don't fuck with this guy, but he walks into the haunted house and immediately starts shaking in his boots, and he's like, whoa! And it's like, I want the guy that's like, I'm here with Jesus. You know, like there's some Exorcist. I want to see the battle. Like, but casting, we do not get this kind of casting in horror often. So this is a 3, 100%. It's a blockbuster. It's a blockbuster movie.
It's a blockbuster movie. That should have been a given, but we got to do it anyway because that's our job here. So that's 3 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Getting to the second category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is kills.
Pretty weak. We don't have many kills in this movie. I think, I mean, if we want to count, there's a couple Indians, right? Like, and then we got the catch 'em, kill 'em guy slitting his throat. Very cinematic. People in the beginning getting shot with the shotguns. Some of the
dog got it.
The dog got it. But not many. No. Not many. Very cinematic. This is going to be a very weak category for this movie. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking like half a point weak. Like half a point or 1. Because there's just really, I mean, you don't see any murders. Like, nope. you vaguely, it's a change. It's the sleight of hand kind of kills. Mm-hmm. And you don't really get a lot of payoff. So they are on screen. I don't. It just it feels very weak in the kills. What do you think, half or one?
It's a half.
Yeah, I'm going half.
That's a half. They ain't shit. They ain't shit kills, but they're there. But I have a point. So that's 3.5 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Getting in the final 3-point category here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is fear.
I'm going to be really bold with this one and say 3. I'm going to be really bold here for the reason why I'm saying 3. There's a lot of different fears where we're like, it's only going to really apply if you're in space or if you're in the ocean, or only half the people are afraid of this and half the people aren't. I'm telling you, this movie got a lot of people and still would get a lot of people. I think if you take your run-of-the-mill person looking for a scary movie and put this on, they're gonna and have never seen it. You're gonna have some whoa, ah, whoa, turn the light on kind of deal. We've seen it so many times where it's just kind of we know. I think there aren't from pop scares, because it's not just pop scares. It's not all CGI. This is a slow building story of a dad going crazy, and the tension is fucking high. And I mean, not everyone has a dad, so I don't want to say that, but you have some form of assembly of family, I'm assuming, either a brother or a sister, something, and or your close group of people that you call your family. If one person that you love and trust starts to go crazy, that's fucking terrifying. It's just a palpable fear. It's something that everyone can understand. And I just really, for what it lacks in kills, I really think that whoever put together the jump scares, everything as far as that, you can't do much better as far as keeping people on the edge of their seat. There aren't moments in this movie for me that feel dragged out and long, and once it starts, and it's a movie. It goes all the way through, and you're in it for that ride. And
they tore it down to like an hour and a half, so good amount of time. And all these are realistic fears. Even buying a cheap house that ends up being haunted is a real fear too. So there's a lot in there. So okay, there we go. I like that. We haven't had a 3 fear in a while, so that's good. So that's 6.5 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Getting into the final 1-point category for half a point each here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is rewatchability.
This is probably one of the strongest rewatchable movies. I have yet to get tired of it, and the idea of it on paper. It's a remake. It has blockbuster stars. It's beautiful, and it probably sounds like I don't like that, but truthfully, it's hard to hate. I watched a lot in my teenage years, a lot of canon memories, and they're just... I've never been disappointed watching it, so for sure for me.
Yeah. It's a classic story. It's a remake, but it's still good. Everything's done well, pretty much. Now, you got a little bit of the more cinematic horror compared to the original one, but if you compare it doesn't matter. You're going to get that with a remake. That's what they're going to do. That's what they're trying to apply from the original that they couldn't do in the first. But still, it's a classic story. It's a great movie. One of my favorites. Very rewatchable. Absolutely. So, that is a total of 7.5 here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast. Right back up in your ass. It's right there. It's right there in front of your face if you're watching.
That feels like such a good score for this, too, because the fact that if it was more over the top and brutal with some kills and some gore, this might be a 10 out of 10. It might be a 10 out of 10 almost. I mean, you'd have the casting, and with the fear, like you said, there's all sorts of, it's not just one type. It's the family member going crazy. It's the haunted house. It's the jump scares. It's the tension. There's just a buildup of all kind of shit going on that meets into a perfect storm. This had a good gory kill, a visceral kill. This sucker could be really high, but a 7.5 is a great score.
Yeah, I think if they added too many kills and gore to it, wouldn't be as special as it was.
Yeah, you're right, though.
Yeah.
Not everybody's... Terrifier's
Talk
not everybody's cup of tea.
Another real fucking fear in this. If you're in a basement in a house and you find a wall where there's something behind it, and you tear it down and you fucking find what the hell he found back there, God.
Yeah, that was fucked. Like... That was so fucked.
Yeah, I think the original one was just like a portal or some shit. I don't know what the hell they had, but they made a whole fucking little torture arena back there, which was a nice little touch.
It was really cool.
Nice little touch.
Although the urge when I watch this movie, I get the whole catch 'em, kill 'em all, but like every time I hear that, I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. Catch them is my real test. Train, dude. Like it's even spelled like Ash Ketchum, so it's like I don't know. I'm not mad at that. Like, I love that he's hearing voices and all of that. I just wish there could have been a different catchphrase because, like, I just picture the hat swoop back and the Pokeball throw. Like, it took a little away. That's like, I'm not a big anime nerd. I got nothing against it. But, I watch the normal shit that, like, people did, like the Dragon Ball Z and the Pokemon. But motherfucker, dude, I was the perfect age. I was like 8 or 9 when Pokemon came out, and that shit, I didn't get into it after there was over 150 of them, but that first 150, bro, from the show, the movie, the games, man, that thing, I mean, it's still going strong, but nothing was like, that was a crazy time. Yeah. Pokemon was huge.
Yeah, Pokemon was the shit.
Oh my god, dude, that was wild. As a little kid, I just remember how infatuated, like it was a whole world.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. Man, Mark, we have made it pretty far down this damn road. And really there's one last stop.
Oh man.
There is one last stop.
We are almost there, boys and girls. Almost there. We almost there. I hope you're excited, because I'm getting excited to tell you what the hell's the problem over there.
It's just weird to me that we haven't covered this movie. It's just weird to me.
Well, that's because this is the Halloween Road final stop, man. You gotta save something good for it, right?
You do have to save something for it, but it's like, truthfully, I'm trying to look down at every one of the Halloween movies that we've covered, right? We've covered quite a few.
Uh-huh.
We've covered quite a few.
Uh-huh.
But you know what? We didn't do Rob Zombie's 2007.
The first one?
Yeah.
We did one of them.
We did the second one.
Oh.
I love the first one, and I don't know how we haven't. I'm telling you, look it up. We haven't covered it.
Look it up.
And
you're telling me out of 151 episodes so far, we haven't done it?
We haven't done it, dude. And, like, this is the third time that I've looked at that movie on the list and, like, panicked and looked again. Like, did we? And I'm doing it right now. And we have not covered Rob Zombie's 2007 Halloween.
Holy shit. Well, that's going to be a treat, aren't you?
Yeah, and you guys should know about it because it's Halloween and, we're giving out the goodies. I don't know how to feel. Yeah, holy shit, man. That's just so wild to me that we have not thus far. Halloween 3, we covered which, broke down the whole franchise. That's 78, H2O, Halloween 2.
I don't remember doing it, so that's wild. That's wild, boy.
Mm-hmm.
That's something out of the wild, wild west. Fiefel's down there. Okay? That's how wild it is. But that should be a good ending to the road of Halloween.
And that also means, folks, you only have 1 week to get those damn t-shirts, man. I'm not kidding. They're gone.
Quit fucking around and get one.
Yeah. Yep.
You know you want one.
Othok Mark and I are going to have them. That's for sure. We're going to have some. I just can't express how much we love you guys, how much we appreciate the support week after week. Make sure that you're sharing the episodes with your friends that are into the spooky shit. Leave some comments. Let us know where you're from, and make sure you did all that shit with the, the YouTube and the ratings. And means more than you know, ladies and gentlemen. And also, Patreon listeners, I will be posting an episode within a day or two. I mentioned last week, I have collected many cool Halloween newspaper articles that have to deal, some funny, some serious, some kind of hilarious Florida man style shit, but some funny Halloween newspaper articles that we're going to go through. And obviously, if you guys are interested in that, you can find it at patreon.com/sloppyhorror. So we love yous. You better be getting your spooky on. Send us some pictures of your costumes, whatever you're doing. Let us know.
Yeah, do that. Do that. And until next time, we'll see you. Make sure you get all Halloweened out, because it's coming. So if you're listening currently, obviously, you know, if you're just here and you're listening to this in like July or something, I don't know what to tell you. But get prepared for that, because good times are coming.
I'm going so hard for that episode. It's one of my favorite movies.
So hard.
Yeah.
Rock hard, baby.
Right in that pumpkin.
Yes. Hard cartilage is going up your ass.
Now clean it up.
That's damn right. We'll see you next week.